Probably the most radical statement in the entire Torah is in Rambam Laws, where he writes that if you don't believe in Mashiach, if you don't think that Mashiach is real, then you are a kafir, you're a heretic, you don't believe in the entire Torah. And very simply, this is because in the Torah, in Tanakh, there are many psukim which talk about Mashiach, there are many psukim which attest to Mashiach's coming. And therefore, if you don't believe in Mashiach, if you don't think Mashiach is real, then you don't either believe in these psukim, and that is heresy. But the real kicker is he goes on to say something amazing and incredible and mind-blowing, where he says that even if you do believe in Mashiach, even if you believe in Mashiach 1,000%, you're just not excited about Mashiach, you don't care about Mashiach, you're not eagerly awaiting Mashiach's arrival. So again he says, you are a kafir, you're a heretic, you don't believe in the entire Torah. And the reason why that's so, the reason why if somebody doesn't care about Mashiach, that automatically means they don't either care about the rest of Yiddishkeit. So to understand why that's so, we need to understand what is Mashiach all about. What is the exact and precise definition and meaning of Mashiach? What does Mashiach really mean? And if we understand what Mashiach means, then we can understand why if somebody doesn't care about Mashiach, that automatically means and translates that they don't either really care about the rest of Torah, about the rest of Yiddishkeit. And to answer this question, what is Mashiach about? So we first have to answer another $1 million question, which everybody would love to know, which is what is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of this world? What is the purpose of the universe? Why are we here? What are we doing here? What are we trying to accomplish? And the answer to both these questions, what is the purpose of life and what is the purpose of Mashiach? So the answer to both those questions lies in one-liner of the Talmudic sages. And it's found in the Midrash, and it is probably the most important and the most fundamental line in the entire Torah Shabbat. So make sure you get this in your head. And that is, our sages say that the purpose of creation and the purpose of Mashiach, what it's all about one thing. It's all about Nisave Kadosh Baruch Hu Liyas Leisbarach Dirah Bitachtonim, which translates in English as Hashem desired to have a home in the lowest of all the worlds. In other words, Hashem didn't need and doesn't need this physical world. And us neshames, us Jewish souls, didn't need to come into existence, didn't need to come into this physical world. But Hashem had a vision, Hashem had a dream, this Abba Kadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem desired to build a home with us neshames in this physical world. Hashem desired to build and create a home together with the Jewish people here, specifically here in the physical world. And us Jewish people, us neshames, us Yidden, saw the unique value of this vision, and we consented to it, and we went through with it, and that's why we're here, that's what we're doing here, that's what we're trying to accomplish, this is what we're reaching for, this is what Mashiach's all about. It's all about creating and building the dream home between Hashem and the Jewish people, creating and building the ideal and dream partnership and relationship and marriage between Hashem and the Jewish people. And that partnership, that Dirah Bitachtonim, Mashiach, is only possible here in the physical world. And to implement this vision, so the first thing Hashem did was he temporarily separated us from himself. And he brought us into existence, and he created us as independent beings. And that is the souls above in heaven. Then he created the infinite spiritual worlds and realities which are populated by the angels. And all of that, though, was just a means to an end to reach the physical world and ultimately to reach Mashiach. Because the physical world is where it's at, and Mashiach is where it's at. And again, Mashiach and Dirah Bitachtonim and this ultimate deep connection and relationship which the Jews are meant to share with Hashem is only possible in the physical world. And the reason why that is, the reason why that's so, what's special about the physical universe, what's unique and special about our physical world, the reason why we can only have Mashiach in this world, the reason why we can only have a Dirah Bitachtonim in this world, the reason why we can only connect really deeply with Hashem in this world, and why Hashem will never ever find real lasting fulfillment and joy and satisfaction in the angels above and in the souls above, is because the angels and souls above, while they're amazing and good and beautiful and perfect, and they always do the right thing, they're flawless day in, day out, they always serve Hashem perfectly, they always choose Hashem completely. The problem with it, and the shortcoming, is that they're basically programmed to choose Hashem. They're so aware of Hashem's truth, Hashem is, so to speak, in their face, that instinctively and naturally they want Hashem and they're drawn to Hashem. And they love Hashem and they desire Hashem and all they want is Hashem. And therefore automatically they choose Hashem and do the right thing, but it's like robotic, they're like robots. So it's like the program to do that. They have no other choice, they have no freedom of choice. Therefore it's nice and it's cute, but it has limited value. It's kind of like, imagine if somebody has no friends, and so the teacher says that everybody has to be friends with this boy. So while that's nice, and while that might make the kid feel good, and while it might be the right thing to do in that situation, that kid will obviously never feel very great about these relationships and about these friendships because they're not real. It's not independent people choosing of their own volition to befriend him. Similarly, a lot of people, unfortunately, are only able to get along with their dog or with their cat or with their pet. But when it comes to other real independent people, they can't seem to get along with anybody else, which is something off with that, right? Or if, imagine if they created an amazing robot and they said, you can custom design your robots and you can design the perfect spouse. You can design the perfect wife, you can design the perfect husband, and you can customize every last detail about them. So while that sounds amazing and cool and exciting for a moment, that would obviously never lead to happy, fulfilled, meaningful marriages and relationships. Because even if you have the robot acting the perfect way and doing all the right things, the problem is the robot doing all those things. And us humans are designed in such a way and we're programmed in such a way, and it's in our DNA, in reflection of Hashem's taiva, that we only feel fulfilled and we only really feel good about things that have real value and real meaning, and that we've worked for, and that we feel like we've earned and we feel like we deserve. And therefore, we will only feel fulfilled in our relationships, in our friendships and with our spouses, in relationships where, again, we feel like we've earned it, we feel like we deserve this relationship. Where the other person chooses us with their own free will, out of their own volition, they choose us. And because of this, as long as the Jewish people existed, as long as the neshamas exist, so the neshamas can never, ever, ever, they aren't capable of connecting with Hashem extremely deeply. They aren't capable of feeling deeply connected with Hashem unless they come into the physical world. Unless they come into this physical world, the neshamas will never ever really feel deeply connected and truly connected with Hashem. The neshamas aren't capable of building a home with Hashem, of creating a deep, meaningful partnership and relationship with Hashem, of feeling deeply connected with Hashem outside of the physical world. And likewise, outside of the physical world, Hashem can't really connect with the neshamas, or is not connected to the neshamas. It's specifically when the neshamas come into this world, specifically when the neshamas come into the physical universe and the physical world. And what's unique about the physical universe is the only space in the entire universe. It's the only space in creation where Elikos, where Hashem's reality, where Hashem's truth is so obscured to the point that the beings which populate the physical world, the people which populate this world, us, so we are not programmed to choose Hashem. What comes to us easily and naturally and instinctively is not Hashem. Instinctively, actually, we're drawn to the physical. That's what comes easy to us. That's what comes naturally to us. And because of that, we're not forced to choose Hashem. We're not programmed to choose Hashem. But when us human beings, when us Jews in this world, where we're not programmed to choose Hashem, where we're not forced to choose Hashem, when we discover Hashem on our own, when we come to the realization on our own that we value Hashem, when we choose Hashem, when we consciously choose Hashem, when we exercise our freedom of will to choose Hashem, even though it's not easy, and in fact, because it's not easy, that is real, that's meaningful, that's deep, and that's how we feel deeply connected to Hashem. That's when our connection with Hashem is real and deep, when we consciously choose Hashem, when we say we want Hashem no matter what. That's how we feel deeply connected to Hashem, that's how we deeply connect with Hashem, and that's only possible in the physical world. Now, the idea here is not that despite being in a physical world, despite being in a world of Helen Hester, despite being in a physical world, we manage to escape from the physical reality, we manage to escape from all the physical distractions, and despite being in a physical world, we connect with Hashem, and that's the depth. That's not the point. In fact, because the physical world is totally not the point. The physical world is not our enemy. The physical world is our friend. It's not that despite being in a physical world, we're able to escape it and find Hashem and connect with Hashem deeply. It's only because we're in a physical world that we're able to connect with Hashem truly deeply. If we weren't in the physical world, if the physical world didn't exist, then we couldn't connect with Hashem in this deep way. And therefore, the physical world is our best friend. Every physical object, every physical experience is a unique opportunity and pathway through which to find Hashem and touch to Hashem and connect with Hashem in a deep way. Therefore, every physical object, every physical experience is a unique blessing, is a gift, is a medium through which we can touch Hashem and connect with Hashem and bond with Him very deeply. Okay? And that is right. And this is basically every time we do a mitzvah in the physical world, this is what we're doing. We are connecting with Hashem deeply. We are choosing Hashem very, very deeply. Now, if I want to express my love for someone, if I want to express my goodwill or my affinity or my friendship towards someone, if I want to connect with someone, so I can have all the best intentions in the world, but if I have a warped version of how to go about that, we have a problem. In other words, let's say I really love someone, I want to express my love and my goodwill for them. But for whatever reason, I have it in my head that the best way to do that, the best way to express my love, is to punch them in the face, or to burn down their house, or to blow up their car. So I could have all the best intentions, my heart could be overflowing with love, but that will obviously not foster and cultivate a deep relationship. That will actually destroy whatever relationship we have. And in the same way, a lot of people say they love Hashem in their heart, but then they have a very strange way of showing that. And we don't have to guess how to build a connection with Hashem. We don't need to guess what we need to do to connect with Hashem. Hashem told us very clearly in the Torah. In the Torah it says, what are the mitzvahs we need to do? What are the actions we need to take to love Hashem, to connect with Hashem, to build and foster a connection with Hashem, to reveal our connection with Hashem. And it's when we keep those mitzvahs, when we consciously choose and exercise our free will to keep those mitzvahs, that we are connecting with Hashem, that we are building a meaningful relationship with Hashem. Now the mitzvahs are designed in such a way that if somebody was keeping all Taryag mitzvahs, if somebody was keeping all 630 mitzvahs, so those mitzvahs would cover every last area of life. And therefore, effectively, there would not be a single moment of the day, there would not be a single day on the calendar, there would not be a single moment of any day, there would not be any physical location you could go in the universe, there would be no experience a human could experience where Torah doesn't tell you what you should be doing in that moment, how in that situation you can connect with Hashem and touch Hashem. And because of that, again, if somebody was keeping all 630 mitzvahs, they would constantly be connecting with Hashem in a deep way, in the deepest way possible. They would constantly be connecting and feeling and touching Hashem in every thought that they had, in every word they spoke, in every step they took, with every organ of their body, with every emotion they felt, with every idea they thought, everything they did, everywhere they went, they would constantly be connecting deeply with Hashem constantly. And when Mashiach comes, all that Mashiach means, in the very technical, basic sense, all that Mashiach is about, is it is a time when we are going to keep all 630 mitzvahs. And we are going to keep all 630 mitzvahs constantly, which means that is when the relationship is going to be at its best. That's when we are going to have a rock-solid, amazing, mind-blowing relationship with Hashem. We're going to have a very healthy, solid relationship with Hashem, and therefore we are constantly going to be in sync. We're constantly going to be connecting in every waking moment. We're going to be connecting and touching and feeling Hashem always, constantly. We're constantly going to keeping the mitzvahs and connecting with Hashem in the deepest way possible. And that will be deep and meaningful and fulfilling for us and for Hashem, because it won't be cheap. We will have achieved it. We will have chosen it. We will have earned it. We will deserve it. Because now during the galus, now during the exile, every time we do a mitzvah, every time we choose to do a mitzvah, every time we choose to do the right thing, even though it's not necessarily easy, that is a small taste of Mashiach, that is a small taste of Dirah Bitachtonim, that is a small choice that we are making to choose Hashem and to build a relationship with Hashem. And therefore, every mitzvah you do is placing a brick in the base of Midrash. Every mitzvah you do is placing one brick in the beautiful, perfect home that we are trying to build with Hashem. Every mitzvah you do is a piece in the puzzle and one piece in the greater relationship we are building with Hashem. And that's what we're working towards, that's what we're trying to achieve. And that will be at its best and in its most perfect state when Mashiach comes. But because of that, even if someone keeps a lot of mitzvahs now, even if someone's a very frum yid, but they don't care about Mashiach, they're not excited about Mashiach, they couldn't care less if Mashiach comes or doesn't come, then says the Rambam, you're a kafir, you're a heretic, you've missed the whole point of Judaism. That means you don't care about anything in Judaism. Because the only value our mitzvahs have now, and what the mitzvahs we do now is about, is they're a taste, and they're working towards the greater picture, the whole relationship, the rock solid relationship and marriage of Mashiach. And that's what we're working towards, that's what we're getting a taste of. That's what we're trying to work towards and achieve. But if somebody doesn't want that, then there's something very off. What's the point of all the mitzvahs you're doing? All the mitzvahs we're doing is trying to connect with Hashem as deeply and as constantly as we can. So Mashiach now, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.